Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classics. This is episode number 2861, Doubleshot number 2755. First discussing the final trade, the collect issues from, the second final one, collect issues from Volume 4, and the last issue of Martian ever I need to talk about. Unless, of course, DC's released another book for this one. So, this is basically Manhunter Volume 2. The Red Rising, which contains issues 7 to 12 of Martian Volume 2, along with Just Like America, Volume 4, issue number 5. Yeah. Those are probably thinking, why the heck would there be a Martian Manhunter story in Just Like America? Well, the rumor I heard, the reason why is because this book was heavily delayed. I've asked Brian Hitch about this, and he says the reason why was because he's had some conflicts with the editor. That's kind of what he told me. I did at least I asked him. Yeah, and because the book was coming out so late, it was delayed so much. I guess DC for this though, hey, let's have a book featuring Martian Manhunter, where it's written by Rob Williams, the guy who wrote the main book, and basically co-writes it with Matt Knott. Mostly about this book, it's just basically the Justice League is, of course, focused on Martian Manhunter, where he is basically on Mars and dealing with basically a villain who only appears in this one issue. This called the Unharmed. It's this one-shot villain that he just happened to appear in this issue here, and then he's never seen again. Moving on to Martian Manhunter Volume 2. Now, maybe into the basic Martian Manhunter issues. Mostly put for these issues, it's like, they run into a woman who apparently knows Mr. Biscuits, who's like a guy in a mask, and basically the whole thing is battling for rebirth of Mars. We even have Martian Manhunter's brother appear in this book, Telek. Yeah, the character from the second volume for the book. Yes, Martian Manhunter's evil twin brother. I guess Rob Williams felt as though, hey, he is a Martian Manhunter villain, so throw him in the book. And he is one of a few villains he's ever had in his career, in his life. Oh, and Mr. Biscuits, it's real. He's the actual Martian Manhunter, when he takes off his mask and becomes basically the New 52, takes on the New 52 look, and that's it. It solves the whole thing. One point in the book, basically, Earth gets turned into a wasteland. But here's the weird thing. It's only in this book. It's not in the rest of the books. For reasons unexplained. Though the Earth gets restored, no problem. But this book was actually really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. Final thoughts on Martian Manhunter Volume 4. I gotta say, this was a very interesting volume. And here's something shocking about the character. After this book ended, the guy disappeared for 2 years. Until he popped up in an issue of Dark Knight Metal. That's when he returned. This book was concluded in 2016. He did not return until 2018. Yeah, though he did make one appearance in a team-up book with Martian Martian. But that's literally all he did. He did get in there a solo book. Not long after that, by Steel Alien, which I thought was a really good book, which was just a reboot of the original classic Martian Manhunter stories. But this book in particular, when this book was launched, this was the only time Martian Manhunter had an ongoing series while I've been reading stuff from DC Comics. Yes, of course, you had the awesome John Ostrander run, yes. But this is the first and only one that was ongoing. The Steve Allen book, that was meant to be limited. It never was meant to be an ongoing series. But I thought this was a good book. Not surprising, though, it was released of course, 2 books. And yes, it was released part of the DCU stuff. And this actually was one of those books they launched that was actually surprisingly really good. Not a bad issue. My only guess is the reason why they ended the book. Maybe DC didn't like what the sales figures were for this book. So that's probably the reason why it ended. or probably was meant to be 12 issues, but who knows? I've never met Ralph Williams, so I don't know the answer to that. So with this also, I'm done reviewing Martian Manhunter. Yes, everything he's had, well, with the exception of the Looney Tunes one-shot, all his main books are all done. Like, what's left to go for him? What's next? Well, not much else about Martian Manhunter himself, but what's the place in this book? Wonder Woman! Starting Volume 2. Yep. Alright, moving on to Hawkman. And here we're discussing issues 1 through 17, issue 0, and number 1. The first 6 issues are John Turner's only issues he writes to the book. Mostly put, it just continues some plot threads from the previous line, from the Hawk World book. That's kind of what this book is, like, initially. Like, kind of what's happening here with these opening 6 issues. And here's the weird thing. This book goes through multiple writers for no reason. I don't know the reason for this. Like, in 17 issues, we're around 3 writers already. You think, wait, is this New 52? No, it's 1980s. Yeah. It's like he's back, and yeah. We also deal with a guest appearance by the Justice League International in these issues. We also deal with Count Vapor. Yeah, the whole thing with him is he actually possesses him for the whole story. Yeah, he was brought back from the previous one in the book, and he possesses, basically, well, Hawkman. Yeah, and by issue 6, basically, Osler's done. Yes, but Steve Lower stays on the artwork. Yeah, and then we have a 2-parter by Paul Kupperberg, where it's a guy thinking like a mongrel. Yeah. Yeah, and apparently, like, oh, let's just have it where, let's create a character. I guess Johnson created this character, the fairy woman, who is, get this, the mother of the K-Tar Hawkman. Yep. And they did with another Wilders, which was a group of people from the Hawk World book that basically continued being in the Hawkman book as regular characters. Basically, they were here for until issue 12. By issue 12, they were done. Yeah, they were basically the opening issue. And then, now the thing is, Paul Kupperberg only stands a guest star for 2 issues. Yes, 2 issues. Yeah, and also there's a character Mustang Susie. She gets injured and then she gets returned. So then this is something really weird. The very next issue is called Godspawn. It deals with this creature known as the Hawk God. It's this weird, gigantic creature that was a creation of the writer of this issue, which was, okay, so with issue 9 to 17, it's the run done by William Messner-Loebs. The whole thing with the Godspawn thing, the whole thing with this is a storyline that brings in the original Hawkman Carter Hall, and like this leads into like the very next story arc, basically Eyes of a Hawk. Yeah, the Hawkeye himself, he's basically, in a way, he's around for basically into issue 13. He comes back up more times after this. Yeah, at one point we actually have the 3, basically 2 Hawkmen basically merged into 1. Yep. Now the thing is, the Godspawn storyline starts issue number 9. It doesn't wrap up to issue number 13. I originally was going to have to stop at 13, but like 12, and then I had to extend it to 13, and I figured why not just do this one. So, yeah, and we also deal with Netherworld basic people here, like as villains, until issue 12. And Carter Hall basically is returns in issue number 11. And of course, still dealing with the Hawk God. The story itself was wrapped up with issue 13. This would have been a stopping point, but this book was a prelude into like issue 0, which they kill off the character Bad Blood. Yeah, he was around for a very short period of time, and they killed him off here. Yeah, and also like, yeah. So the Indigo changes, basically took off his helmet. It's like, oh, he still got a scar across his face. Yep. Yeah. And it becomes more confusing here. And then again, the Eyes of the Hawk story arc, which issue 0 was a prelude to. And this basically, the best way to describe this storyline is that it's Hawkman teaming up with characters from DC Universe. Where in issue number 14, he teams up with Jean Loring, Ray Palmer's ex-wife. In issue 15, he teams up with Aquaman. Also the character Barracuda, Hawkman's Barracuda. Actually, it's Aquaman's villain. Yes, the Aquaman villain gets killed off in this issue. Yeah, this was a one-off return for him. Though, yes, it does appear in... This previous appearance actually was an issue of Hawkman Volume 4. Yeah, so they basically killed him off here because they probably didn't have any plans for him. And then issue 17 teams up with Wonder Woman, who's just known as Diana. Okay, so the reason why that she's not Wonder Woman in this issue, why she's just Diana, this is due to a storyline that basically ended William Messner-Loebs' run on Wonder Woman called The Contest. Excuse me. And it was a brief period of time where brand new character Artemis was Wonder Woman. And it turns out the whole contest happened was because Apollo got a prophecy that Diana would die. So he had to basically fight the very same contest that she participated in order to go to man's world. So that's kind of basically the reason for it. And books said, oh yeah, we're getting Wonder Woman, and it's just Diana, not Wonder Woman. Yes. And then the finale of this book deals with Viper, and there's a character named Lefty. Me. By the way, Hawkman, this whole book is based in Chicago. Yeah, and he's a regular character in this book. Yep. But that's the main issues. But what about the annual? The annual is a tie into, well, Bloodlines. This is the story of Mongrel. Yeah, he is a very annoying character, this guy is. Or like, he's first introduced, being whipped with a belt by his uncle. Uncle Walt. Yeah, and also he gets his powers similar to everyone else, but he ends up falling for one of the aliens who ends up giving the power. It's a really weird thing with him, and then he returns in Hawkman for a few appearances. He doesn't really do a lot in Hawkman. Not really. It's shocking he came into Hawkman with issue 7. He's only here for a few issues. And here's the thing. Was the Hawkman written by John Hunter? Yes, it was. It was also co-written by Tim Truman. Art by June Duisman and Steve Lieber. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but not much else to say about the Hawkman book. I enjoyed these issues. I thought they were pretty good. Though I'm not really a fan of Mongrel himself. Yeah, his whole thing is he can fight. He's basically kind of like a lame version of Vibe. And after his Hawkman appearances, he just appeared in an issue of Deathstroke, Showcase. He was in Blood in Power Pack, and they got killed off in New Crisis because Infinite Crisis got a lot of characters. Yep, we do have one more annual left to go for Hawkman, and it was released in 1995, and it should be a much better annual. I will be discussing that when I come back to this book, which is basically when I will cap up this volume, and then I'll go ahead and do Manhunter Volume 2. But what I give Hawkman? Volume 3, issues 1 to 17, issue 0, and number 1. I give these issues a give it 8.5 out of 10. Still pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much that particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, notifications, and do this like one. Stay tuned for tomorrow for our reviews of Ultra 7, maybe Comic Corner 2. Okay, next video. Bye.